This is a presentation of the Badlands Media Network.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. I hope you can hear me. I am trying to use my tablet to see if I can track how the program is going. And of course, as soon as I start the live broadcast, I'm doing this from outside on my good friend's Florida room deck. And the dog started barking like crazy somewhere down the street. But I am gloriously sweating, as I think I indicated in my response, and my tablet is not working to show me what y'all are seeing, even though it says it's alive. So I haven't figured that out. Good morning. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. This is episode 91 of the Rattler Gator Report. It's May 22nd, 2023. And I am in Palm Beach County, somewhere between Lake Worth and Wellington, and loving it. I love to be able to get down here, visit with friends and family. Had a fantastic weekend in Miami Beach. The Bitcoin conference I did not officially participate in, but I did get up with G Money. We did do the little cruise on the yacht, whatever little event his friend had put together. Very interesting group, and fascinating to be one in that number of folks who really do, I think, understand this moment in history and what we're going to have to do in order to move forward, transition for the health and uh, financial security of your family. Um, yeah, I'm going to wing it today. I think you know that. But I have taken a look at a range of things, and I think I want to let me. I'm gonna have to go up here to see if everything is working. Okay, I see a bunch of comments, and I looked, uh, gang. I looked in. Oh boy, I hope this doesn't. Yeah, it does. I've got to. Yeah, I look good. Okay, the setting works. Listen, okay, let me look, Diana. I didn't see anything in my email about a little get together today, and I had in my haste forgotten. It's like, hey, Monday you have a sports talk show, Black Man, at 12 o'clock. I think I may extend a day here, and so if in fact we do want to try and do something with a group from South Florida, um, let me know, and we might be able to still arrange that either dinner tonight or lunch tomorrow, something like that. But Maggie, hello, Nebraska. It's only 60. Boy, it's beautiful here. And I happen to be somebody who loves the heat and humidity. I love it. So, yeah, people complain about it. But hey, I know it is hard to look. You're right. So much is going on. I'm happy about that, actually. The fact that I can't really keep up when I'm traveling and I'm doing different things and trying to visit with friends, kind of have to let it go and kind of rely on y'all to kind of say, hey, you might want to take a look at this. You might want to take a look at that, knowing that I may not still be able to get a look at it for a week. Um, yeah, let's see. Diana, we should not raise the ceiling. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. It's going to be interesting. The imperative, I think, is to reach some type of a incremental compromise. We'll see. Um, Too fat for your keyboard. I have that problem. Oh, thank you, Maggie. Yeah, I wanted to do this. I mean, I could be in the comfort of the house, of course, and that's just a generic little setting, but that doesn't, uh, he's in a particularly beautiful little setting, and they've done some stuff in their backyard. I started to do the show from that setting, but I was worried about the signal. There's a little canal running behind us. I don't know that that comes through on the image, but benches, trees, shade, breeze. It's beautiful. I envious of the boy. I will have to admit I am envious of the boy. Uh, you did send me an email. I didn't see it. I looked and it's like, okay, I thought Diana was going to send something. I didn't see it. In my haste, I may have overlooked it. I will, at the close of the show, do another hunt. Resend it for me, please, if you could. Um, okay, great, great, great. You will resend it. Good morning to everybody. Really, y'all should have been down here for this Bitcoin thing. That's just my bias. I am in discussions with Sean and Garrett, G Money and Patriots in Progress, I think is his handle, to maybe come on the show this week. Um, and let's talk a little bit about the Bitcoin thing, the situation, Miami. Good morning, Dina. Um, but here's I'm trying to get different because look, even G Money and Patriots in Progress. Sean, I'm just going to say Sean and Garrett uh, see things, I think, a little bit differently here and there. They wouldn't be human otherwise. We, as a group, had a fantastic table on this yacht, just sitting around at dinner, chatting. And it was a great conversation, probably would have made for great video. But you can't have video intrude on every damn thing. It's one of the problems in this world. You think cameras don't change you, but they inevitably do some way, somehow, right? But we had a free flowing discussion. G Money, he's got a certain opinion about 2024 that I don't share. And we kind of made a bet, and we will see. It's almost, I watched a little bit of Kyle and Burning Bright last night, and it's like, oh man, they still going on this Wagner. It's like, okay, all right, I might need to make a bet with them too. I don't know, but it's the spice of life, right? It's the spice of life. We have to keep some humor and optimism, even as we discuss really serious, potentially dangerous stuff. It's just the way it goes. So, yeah, I wish I could recount for you, something of the conversation faithfully, but it was so good and so interesting, and you're taking in everybody, and I, you know, anyway, it was good. It was good. Um, but I met a young lady from Tampa, and if you're a longtime Floridian, you know that is Cigar City Patriot, I think is her handle. And had great conversation with her, had dinner with her um, at this restaurant, Yardbird. If you've been to Miami Beach and or the chain, I didn't. I think we discovered it was a chain while we were eating there, but yeah, the birds in the background. I was like, man, is an air conditioner gonna come on and really mess up the sound? Are these damn dogs barking gonna mess up my sound? But hey, I'm a few minutes in. The setting is what it is, and I do like that too. Being out and having the birds. It kind of fits with our morning casual, organic, back and forth conversation thing. I'm gonna have to think about that. I can do that from my place in Gainesville, but not quite as good as this, and not enclosed. You know, so we'll see. Me play around. I may actually do some like on location morning shows. Just allowing for a little bit more travel I'm going to be in Atlanta Friday, probably by Friday morning. I think Thursday I will drive up. My first cousin has her final child graduating from high school. And I'm going to go up there and celebrate with them. Um, but yeah, Cigar City, I'm talking about having G Money. The Bitcoin boys is what I call them. I've talked about having them on this week. They were agreeable, and I just have to figure it out. And all this damn traveling, it may not work out this week. But what I thought is I would have Cigar City Patriot come on because she did attend the Bitcoin conference. She was taking notes and really soaking in all of the stuff. And I essentially said to her, "Look, you're my you're my eyes and ears at this conference," and so she might be able to give something of a good report. I may have to communicate with her today to see if we could schedule how to bring her in sometime this week if it's going to work. But yeah, it may need to push back to next week, and that gives us time to shape it. And the way I would probably do it is 3 successive days. I mean, this is what I would prefer. Cigar City Patriot comes on. We have a basic discussion. What are your thoughts? What did you see? How do you feel? And then have Sean come in. He was outstanding in our interaction. And then let G Money be the cleanup on the discussion. And that I think might give this particular audience a unique opportunity to have some type discussion progression on Bitcoin because surely there'll be questions that are developed. Lord have mercy, I unplugged my charge. I don't want this damn thing to turn off on me in the middle of. I have had that happen to me while working on some project, and that, let me tell you, will make you cuss. And I don't think y'all want to see that out of me, but you wouldn't see it because the damn power would have shut off anyway. Um, Sounds like a golf game. What? Let me see. Get back in the chat. Good morning, Dina. Yeah, we'll definitely get together while you're in Gainesville one of these days. Who gives a damn about the NAACP issuing a damn travel warning? It's pathetic. These people are pathetic. I mean, it's just laughably absurd bullshit. Hey, I don't even think about them. Beautiful setting. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, G Money. G Money's passionate, okay? And I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at him. We need passion, and this is a serious subject. I think more serious than some people may realize. Um, but you mix and mingle with folks, you get outside of our grouping. Yeah, people are seriously. How do I say this? I actually thought about talking today a lot about fear, uncertainty, and doubt in general, right? In general, because it is a tool I see more and more being utilized, and I see it cutting across. A gator crawling by would be epic. Yeah, hey, that canal is right there, baby. You just never know. You just never know. But I highly doubt that. maybe with all this artificial intelligence and talent creeping into our community, we could kind of superimpose that and kind of fake it back there just to add some pizzazz to the show. In fact, Cigar City was saying, and I was saying to her, we probably need to have a get together of Florida Badlanders. You know, goodness, I meant to bring Dr. Reed. They had these little, I don't know what these kids call this stuff, these cards, these QR things. Dr. Reed and Sean had one too, I do believe. But, and they are, Dr. Reed was there, and I think he's in Kingsland, Georgia, but that's right across the border. That's essentially Jacksonville. Um, and I would certainly invite them if we had some type of a get together wherever it is. We could bounce it around the state. I think it might be if we could just plan it so that if it's not monthly, then maybe every quarter, something like that, just to have a specific Florida get together. I think that could be really good, a good casual outgrowth of what we're doing here on the network. But we'll see. That's a lot of different little moving parts. I hope to get together with CanCon. I'm down there in Miami, and I never. That's a regret, but I'm going to get back down there soon. I had some craziness happen with my medication. I left one of my one prescribed medication. I left it in Gainesville, and so then tried to get a emergency provision. And what the hell has happened with Big Pharma and CVS and all this crap? I got this dumbass telling me what the hell he can't do. Oh man, I almost embarrassed myself. I was that pissed off. I really was upset at myself for forgetting my damn medication. Stupid. But then I had to go to this place, MD Now, to pay for them to admit me for some session where I did all I needed was my prescription. They had me in the system. They know damn well this is prescribed. Everything is there. They should be able to give me this. No problems, no issues. I don't care if Blue Cross Blue Shield is charging me $30 damn. Don't really care. But it was all ridiculous. Oh my God. I better not go down that road because I'll start really. I was pissed. I was pissed. Um, that will get me really off. Uh, yeah, that is true, Maggie. It's in terms of Florida, and the more north you go, the more southern you get. That is true, but don't let it fool you. This is one of the things that I have. You won't be surprised. A particular take on this. I'm a little bit of a geography geek too, and people forget that the University of Miami played Dixie at its football games into the 60s. Uh, Miami's more southern than you think. And here's what I think people don't really get. And I say this as somebody who has traveled the Caribbean and who understands American history. I look at the South broadly, and I look at the South as having a somewhat of a dominant culture that bleeds out. Okay. That's why I know damn well Baltimore and Washington, D.C. are southern cities. They're below the Mason Dixon line. And if you've been there and if you really understand the city and its history, you know damn well they're southern cities. You know Delaware is southern. You know Oklahoma is southern. So the same applies for the Caribbean and South America. If you really look at some of the things that distinguish the South, if you're talking about racial characteristics and all this other kind of stuff, cultures, they're far more southern. So it's not that, oh man, you know, it's all this northeastern stuff in Miami. Yeah. I don't think, in the black community, we call Miami the bottom. And, Jacksonville is Bangham. But the black community in Miami had no doubts about it being a southern city, no questions about that whatsoever. Um, and the same would be if you went to Havana, to me. If you just understood it, and if you understood Southern culture, you would understand those cultures far better than if you came from Chicago, Seattle, Boston, whatever. But yeah, that is true. Jacksonville is the most southern major urban city in Florida. Jacksonville and Tampa, I started to have a discussion with Cigar City about this. Jacksonville and Tampa, among Florida major urban centers, are the most similar, although they are dissimilar cities. It's just that Florida is just that disparate. Orlando is unique. West Palm, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, they're just uniquely different cities. Tampa and Jacksonville share a lot of similarities as an urban core in their unique differences, though. And it used to be in Florida that there really wasn't much of a discussion about central. Everything was north or south. And if you were Orlando and vicinity north, that was North Florida. If you were Tampa and vicinity south, that was South Florida. That used to be the way it was way back when. And in fact, man, I'm getting off on a tangent. The University of South Florida is in Tampa, which is absurd because Tampa is not South Florida the way Florida has developed. But the story behind that, and the reason why it was named the University of South Florida, is that Tampa and Miami were in a battle, and there was a Jewish angle to this battle. Miami was becoming the dominant population center in the state. Tampa wanted to claim that, some sort of type control. And so when the state was developing a university, what really should have gone to Miami went to Tampa. And they called it the University of South Florida as though that was going to cover the whole state. And it was just a pipe dream. But one of the things they were doing, there were all these Jewish influencers in Miami. And I just think, I'm just saying, there was a Jewish angle to the state legislature naming the University of South Florida in Tampa. Really, Florida International in Miami should be called the University of South Florida, if you are being honest about that. I don't know why I got the hell off on that tangent, but hey, there we are. It's in there. Um, yeah, the medical industrial complex of Ryan 96, all of it, corporatist, all of it. I just almost exploded at the stupidity. Guy sitting there telling me state law will not let him do X. It's like, okay, I'm going to have to go find this so called state law. I don't believe him. North Star 07, what does G Money think about 2024 that's different? He thinks it's going to be a rug pull. He thinks it's going to be a rug pull, and that the election is going to be stolen yet again. And I told him there is no way in hell that's going to happen. I mean, there's no way in hell that's going to happen. And that's because, to me, so many things are in the pipeline now. When you think about a massive RICO prosecution, yeah, I better think about doing my ads. Okay, I see the clock. I'll get to it. But um, that just threw me off. What the hell was I talking about? Let me. G Money in 2024. How can I summarize? I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to put words in his mouth. And if I'm able to get him on the show, he'll be able to talk about that. And hey, listen, I really enjoyed him. I really enjoyed him. He was engaging as hell. His woman, Sean, his wife, everybody. It was good. These little get-togethers. It's like, wow, we should have more people here. Um, I actually thought that, you know what, it might be good to have something of a GART get together next year at the Bitcoin 2024 summit. And just like they did this little yacht cruise where you can socialize and sit and just mix and mingle and have a good time and do the Miami Beach thing, kind of roll out Biscayne Bay and just let the houses and the water and the breeze and the liquid refreshment make the night. Okay, so everybody had a good time. I thought it worked well. But yeah, he thinks it's going to be a rug pull. I think things are lining up for a massive RICO uh, drip, drip, drip unveiling. I don't. Again, I've not thought for quite some time there's going to be this drip, drip overall flood. Maybe a segmented flood of stuff, but they're getting everything on the record. How do you introduce evidence? That's a multi-layered saying. There's not one thing that's applicable to. They're showing you in a wide range of areas. This is how you get introduced. You get evidence introduced, and it's not just introduced into court. It's introduced into our consciousness so that we can talk to the normies. And I'm recognizing again. I come here. They're not paying. My friends here aren't paying attention to any of this stuff. They believe what they believe. They know what they know. They have fear and uncertainty about X, Y, and Z. I saw Kyle last night talked about hearing some conversation at a table next to him. Clearly, Democrats, I presume, white Democrats, discussing Biden and him. He should, I think a lot of that stuff is going on. I may, at the close of this show, ask my friend here, clearly Democrat, a few questions. We don't really dwell on that stuff, but I may ask a question or three and just see what the response is. Um, Maybe not him, but I may ask his wife. She's originally from Jamaica, outstanding chick, faith based, and solid, common sense. And I know it has to be disturbing to her, this craziness with this transgender BS, this drag shows, this talking to kids, kindergarten. It's just off the charts craziness. And there's no way she's signing off on that. And I think it's representative of a bunch of black Democrats. There's no way they're signing off on that. Let me do these ads, and then I want to get to Andrew Sullivan. Now that has come up, he had an interesting column. I think some of you know Andrew Sullivan, but they have a real problem, I think, in the gay community. They have a real problem, and I'm talking about establishment gays, regularized gays. And I've said for years to people, when you think of the gay community, don't think faggot. There are faggots, and I mean flaming faggots. That's not the majority of the gay community, gay male. And I think establishment gays, gay males, and establishment lesbians, they know they got a freaking problem. And I think they're dancing and blinking. To me, that's what Andrew Sullivan did in his column. He said a lot of stuff that needed to be said, but he was dancing and blinking. To me, let's see if I can figure out this damn ad. Okay, that's the wrong one. We have a new. I have a new advertiser today, and I want to see if I can do justice in my initial conversation with you, because they certainly deserve that, as do everybody, as does everyone. who takes the time to advertise on our network. And this is Ascent Nutrition. Okay. I have become particularly interested in them because of my diabetic condition. And I'm in the process of doing something of a test with their products. Um, it's going to be narrowly implemented at first because of my do it yourself protocol. But Ascent Nutrition offers deeply transformative and helpful nutrients through unique products you're less likely to find anywhere else. They offer organic and wild harvested products that are known to bind to certain harmful proteins, heavy metals, and toxins, and can help support overall health in multiple ways. One of the products I use consistently right now, singularly, that I use consistently is berberine. This supports healthy blood sugar levels. You know that's important to me with my diabetic condition. It promotes a healthy metabolism and it supports a healthy and diverse gut microbiome. It also revitalizes energy levels and assists healthy weight management. So, the way I'm doing this, and we'll just let it play out and just see what's what. I mean, berberine is something of a metformin replacement. That's the primary drug if you're on type 2 diabetes. And I just wasn't interested in taking that drug. And I really think what they've done with the metformin is they've taken some elements of Eastern medicine they've seen that works, and then they've tried to pharmacologically commoditize it. But they don't know if it works in the same fashion. They pull out this little bit. It's almost like experimentation. I'd much rather have the berberine. And so that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to see what impact it has over a period of months. You know, the difference is I'm hopefully going to do a personalized approach where I'm taking the berberine now. Next month, when I try and go on a no sugar month, and I already know, and you already know, I'm going to drink me some damn sugar. Okay. I'm just going to try and drastically reduce the intake. And I want to then see at the close of that month the impact that it has. And then after that, I'm going to implement more of the Ascent products, the range that they have, which is very intriguing, very intriguing. So hopefully we'll be able to keep you abreast of how all of that helps and works as we opt out of big pharma and all these other damn things they keep doing testing on us and stuff. But that should be interesting going forward. All right, I'll just periodically let you know, not exactly everything and what the results are, but generally, right? So next up, I have to get this out of the way now because if I don't, I'll be in trouble. Deep, deep, deep trouble. And it won't be the first time. So, along the lines of what we discussed with Ascent, are you worried about spike proteins and how they may impact your health? Looking for help but don't know what to do? As we've been indicating for a period now, the Wellness Company has an answer in the form of their clean, pure, all natural spike support formula developed by experts like Dr. Peter McCullough. The Wellness Company's spike support includes incredible nattokinase, dandelion root, black sativa extract, green tea, and Irish sea moss. Even better, the spike formula by the Wellness Company is vegan, gluten-free, and made right here in the US of A. So, buying American naturalistic ingredients of this quality would separately cost you over $100. The Wellness Company Spike formula is only $65.99. Go to spikedefend.com to order Spike support today and use promo code Badlands for 10% off. That's spikedefend.com, promo code Badlands for peace of mind if you are concerned about spike proteins. All right. So please don't shut down. I almost shut down the recording. And like, okay, that's all for today. But yeah, let me check the chat before I get into this Andrew Sullivan stuff. And I didn't. That's really from my Twitter. Oh, we really. I'm geeked out because my Twitter, of course, has been my primary Twitter account has been reinstated, and I almost feel like I need a week of no shows just to step back, re-investigate my Twitter, all of these people I was following. The last I checked, they had me at 34,000 followers or something like that, and before they suspended me, it was right around 60,000. So I think I had more than 20,000 bots following me, which doesn't surprise me. But it's been very interesting to get back on there. I've got to figure out how to now move forward with the next phase of my plans, which are going to include some monetization of my private efforts off of the Badlands Media Network. So we'll see how that goes. I'm in some discussions now with a friend in Jacksonville, to try and do a separate sports show more focused on the Jaguars and, Florida or regional sports, maybe even national, but just some guys. One guy who I'm hoping to get is a really passionate country boy, black country boy, Georgia Bulldog fan. He and I go to battle, and but I enjoy, that kind of stuff. So we'll see if I'm able to get that up and running, and whether we can have a lead in by summer into the fall and when these games begin. Uh, but I also talked to I don't think I'm out of school saying I was saying to Cigar City Patriot, look, you need to get your podcast up and running, dip your toe in the water, have a plan, and get cracking. We need more females who will take the time. It doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't have to be every week. You have good opinions. Put your opinions out there. You have good concerns. Make your concerns known. Let's allow this conversation to grow and bloom. And this is how we as Americans take back our country. This is how we become the news, right? And much more representative of our communities. So some people are just going to have to bite the bullet. And if you're in a position to do so, we don't want anybody to be foolish and stupid. And we know there are crazy people in this world. If you need anonymity, keep your anonymity. Not a big deal to me. The thing is to get the product out there. The thing is to have conversations where like-minded people can say, yeah, I kind of hear you. I kind of agree with you. And we need more of you, that sort of thing. So, yeah, I'm hoping to push that forward. And in part, if we get regional folks having these little conversations and these little get-togethers, um, where we're just breaking bread periodically, you know, I think that's a good thing. We're social creatures. We don't need to run away from that. We don't need to be embarrassed about that, even in the face of personal differentiation. Um, that I'm still thinking about, burning bright in this Azov battalion and you Nazis in Ukraine and all this. One of us is going to be wrong. And it might be that both of us are going to be wrong. And, I'm slightly wrong in this direction and he's slightly wrong in that direction. Hey, well and good. Well and good. I'm still going to hope that I'm right and that Trump has baited these dadgum Russians and overextending themselves. And on that tip, I'm not gonna veer into the Russia Ukraine stuff. I hope today, but on that tip, all of this Bakhmut stuff and Yevgeny Prigozhin sitting out there, we've taken the city. Shut up, bitch. You ain't taking a damn thing. They baited your ass into coming in there and claiming this stuff. And guess who's sitting in the highlands surrounding Bakhmut? That would be the Ukrainian forces. And if you know something about military impact and firepower and what you want, you don't want to be down there in the city core with an army up in the highlands. Ain't what the hell you want. So all of this news coming out about, hey, it's over, they've taken Bakhmut, big fucking deal. Big fucking deal. They don't care about that. They wanted you to come take that city center. That's my opinion. Okay. Again, not a big deal. Relatively speaking, right? Not a big deal, relatively speaking. Um, so much is going to be coming out in the coming weeks. Um, go to Davie, Florida. Mob One, I actually went to a Wawa in Davie to charge up. Wait a minute, to charge up? What was I doing? I might have been charging up in Davie. But yeah, I've been all over South Florida this weekend, man, because I hadn't been down in a while and I like to ride and just see. Um, and man, a lot of building down here. My goodness, so much building. Dina, yeah, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Hey, gotta have it. I gotta have it right now. Given all this stuff I'm dealing with, I was really stupid years ago when I first got this deep vein thrombosis and had the blood clot. And I tried to come off because I just desperately did not want to take a pill every damn day. Desperate. And I mean, I think I almost killed myself a couple of times because my leg blew up. And all it takes is that clot to just break off and cancel Christmas. So I finally gave in. And but I am curious still now on this do-it-yourself approach. Can I transition away from blood thinner and do the berberine and some of these other different approaches? Change my diet, cut back on the sugar, and we'll see. That's part of my thing. I just hold on.
Yeah, how's it going?
Good.
All right.
You don't want to show your face?
Not like that.
Okay. Um, you got good friends when they let you come take over their damn house and just, okay, man, set up and do what you got to do. But yeah, election 2024 is going to be lit. I just, yeah, hope the RICO comes before the primary. Who can know? But I tell you what, right? You have to take a look. All of these people bitching about the Durham report, I don't get it. I don't. What are you thinking? What are you talking about? All of that material that's now there and available for prosecution. Something else I'm trying to figure out. And y'all help me. We have Russian interference in 2016, don't we? The 2016 election. I mean, don't we? Hasn't Team Trump painstakingly documented now? The Durham report is just one piece of this. The Russian interference. That means Vladimir Putin. And what Hillary was trying to hide was her interaction with elements of Vladimir Putin. What wasn't that what happened? Isn't there still some uranium one question that comes back to Hillary? And that means Vladimir Putin, doesn't it? And then we're sitting up here talking about Donald Trump is working secretly with Xi and Putin? What? No. And I'm, forgive me, okay? Forgive me. I'm looking at the clock. We're gonna run out of time, and I know y'all will get probably upset with me, but the ghost in the machine thing. I listen to people sometimes on our network even, and it's like, bruh, you do realize that's a two-way street. Our opponents are engaging in that kind of thing too, but it's a two-way street on our side. We, and I'm talking about the Stop Battalion, Fort Bragg, wherever, we are engaging in Ghost in the Machine stuff delivered to us. Okay? And I'm just saying, won't it be glorious if Donald Trump has baited the left wing? Won't it be glorious if he has baited the left wing in supporting the Ukraine when really and truly that's him in a Trumpian move pushing all of that? And I just come back and remind everybody, he walked his ass into the administration pointing to NATO and saying, your asses are not paying enough into NATO. Your asses are not doing enough with NATO. He was not anti-NATO. He said you had to do more. Now, I want to see if I can find a video. And this boy, and this will prep me for my next ads. I see it. I'm just wondering, can I get to the screen share to show it? And I hope that will not be a problem. It's a 5-minute or so video, and this guy I take issue with quite a bit, but it's a compelling argument. I want you to hear the argument. You ain't got to agree with it. I just want you to hear the argument, okay? I have to find it on this thing, and that is always the problem, but I think I have found it. Hang tight, check out this argument, and then I'll come back to you.
All right, next question is, whose fault is this really? Who really started this? Who is the ultimate provocateur? From my point of view, that's a pretty straightforward question, but let's look at it from the other side real quick, because we do have a number of people in the United States who are just parroting blindly and brainlessly Russian propaganda. The argument that the Ukrainians are led by a bunch of Nazi Jewish gay demons, we're going to put that to the side because that's as stupid as it sounds. And hopefully for most people, the fact that that is a leading thread in Russian propaganda is indicative of how much truth is behind the rest of what they say. But let's focus on something a little bit more substantive, the idea that NATO has been very aggressive with the Russians since the end of the Cold War. And it's ultimately NATO's fault, and specifically the United States' fault, that Ukraine is in the position that it is today, and the Russians have to do this for defensive purposes. The very, very short version is that's utter bullshit, but let's pick it apart. The argument is that the United States has been aggressively expanding NATO, and you make an argument for that because we have seen roughly 20 countries join NATO since the Cold War ended in 1992. But you have to take a look at the NATO accession process, because it is not just an issue of the United States waving a wand. What happens is the countries in question have either a vote or an act of their parliament where they apply for NATO membership, and then every individual government that is in the alliance already has to sign off on that entrance. And then it's not like you wave a wand. Then starts the accession process, which involves military reform, civil reform, democratic transitions, moving away from a top-down cannon fodder style military strategy like the Russians favor, in favor of something with better logistics and a lot more forethought, in order to help these countries not just defend themselves, but move along the path towards a democratic transition, or if they're already democracies, to consolidate that transition. Once all of that is done, once the report card is finished, the countries then formally apply, and they again have to have either an act of parliament or a vote of their general population, or more likely both. And then once that is done, NATO gives it a rubber stamp, but that's not the end of the process either. Then the accession has to be signed off by each individual NATO country with a minimum of an act of parliament, and in some cases an actual plebiscite. Only then can the countries join. This is not an issue of the United States just saying, hey, I want to expand NATO to Hungary, and it just magically happens. Everyone has to be on board with every step of the process, or there is no accession. Now, you also have to consider the list of countries that have joined NATO since the Cold War ended. Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Romania, Bulgaria, the Slovak Republic, the Czech Republic, Hungary, Macedonia, or North Macedonia now, Albania, and future accession targets are potentially Ukraine, Georgia, and Azerbaijan. With very few exceptions, these countries have all either been at war with or occupied by Russia. Oh, I forgot Finland too. Anyway, at war with or occupied by Russia. So from their point of view, the defensive argument that Russia is the one that's threatened by Latvia is just asinine. So that's kind of piece one. Piece two is what actually happened in the early days of the war. Starting in 2020 and 2021, Vladimir Putin and the Russian government in general started talking about the Ukrainians as not really existing, that they were a made-up ethnicity designed by the Nazis or by the Americans simply to put a thorn in Russia's side. And as such, it was Russia's manifest destiny to reclaim lands that were once it. And as the time went on, the number of territories that were traditional Russian territory, according to this propaganda, expanded to include most of the countries that have joined NATO since 1992. And then by the time we got to December of 2021, the Russians started moving tens of thousands of troops onto Ukraine's borders. And by the time we got to January and early February, we had over 100,000. By the time we got to February 22nd, the day that troops crossed the border, we were at about 130,000. On the 22nd, over 70,000 troops crossed from the Russian territories into the occupied Ukrainian territories. And we all of a sudden had a mass mobilization in Belarus as well. And then on the 24th, forces crossed from Belarus south and from those occupied territories in the east, further west into Ukraine proper. And never forget that this is not the first war between Russia and Ukraine since 1992. In 2014, the Russians flat out invaded the Donbas territory in the east and also captured Crimea in the south. So anytime somebody tells you that this war is someone's fault other than Russia, you can tell them to go screw themselves because you're smarter than that. Next question.
All right. I hope I've come back now and I can do my final two ads. I need to quickly get right with Kitty. Okay, I see what we got. And let me go straight to it. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. Okay, No Bugs Beef is what we're doing. First up, this is one of our new advertisers. Tremendously good to have them aboard. And because, you know, they're putting mRNA into so much, we have to be very concerned about our food supply. And it's logical if you're sitting there thinking and wondering what the hell is next with these people. Well, there is a solution that you need to contemplate, and that's our partnership with the folks at NoBugsBeef.com. This is a veteran-owned, all-American beef supplier that provides sous vide, freeze-dried beef from ranches in Texas that have never even heard of mRNA. That means you can get high-quality, cooked and freeze-dried beef cubes shipped right to your door. Premium cuts of ribeye, New York strip, tenderloin, sirloin, and chuck. These are not your typical survival foods. Soak the beef cubes in water for just 15 minutes, and you can eat them today or in 10 years. Sous vide and freeze-dried high-quality beef stored in Mylar bags that keep them shelf-stable for over a decade without refrigeration. Go to NoBugsBeef.com and use promo code BADLANDS for an additional 10% off your order. That's NoBugsBeef.com, promo code BADLANDS. NoBugsBeef.com, fighting the push for crickets, lab-grown meat, and every abomination under the sun. Okay, this is what I mean. We got to have some good humor when we're attacking this craziness of what these crazy-ass people want us to do. We're not going down that street. It ain't happening. So we'll let them eat the damn crickets. Next up, Benson Honey.
Benson Honey Farms delivers raw honey straight from the hive to your table. It is their mission to provide you the best raw honey at the lowest prices possible. By not pasteurizing, overheating, or filtering their honey, Benson Honey Farms ensures that all of its natural pollen and enzymes stay in the honey for maximum health benefits. So cut out the middleman and go straight to the source. Visit BensonHoneyFarms.com and use the rep code BADLANDS to place your order today. That's BensonHoneyFarms.com, rep code BADLANDS.
Yeah, those of you who don't have type 2 diabetes are lucky, and you can take full advantage of the Benson Honey line of products. We fully endorse them, and I'm still trying to figure out a way through my little do-it-yourself protocol over these period of months. What I'm really looking to try and do is stabilize my little blood sugar situation and all this other kind of stuff where I can still have some intake of sugar. It's not a complete walk away. We'll see. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get there. This is partly why I'm going to have a test, but I'm going to do everything I can to not have to totally give it up. We'll see how that goes. Okay, as we get ready to close out the show, they're about to have some air conditioner work done here. I'd forgotten about that. So hopefully it doesn't kick in before the end of the show. But yeah, let me check in the chat and Diana, make sure you send me that email. I think I am going to extend for a day here and just see how everything goes. Yeah, I think we can still call them normies. People just want to live their lives. We have to remember that. Yeah, gays against groomers. This has been my thing. I think tomorrow I may talk about that Andrew Sullivan article. Hell, well, no, I'm not going to go look for it now. You can easily find it. It was very interesting. It was very good. And they're in a conflicted, listen, they're in a conflicted situation. We can be honest about that, right? I mean, many of you have gay friends like I do. And I have tea. I don't really drink a lot of tea, Flying Storm. I much prefer coffee. Yeah, but metformin is garbage. Yeah, I think they make these attempts to commodify stuff, and it's just better. Let's go with the product from nature. I don't know what Durham is going to do in terms of talking to Congress. And I think, here's my thing. It's better for me not to expect anything from Durham that greatly pleases me beyond that report that he's delivered. I think that was his role. That was his job. I'm not now, but because, you know, the Freedom Caucus and Donald Trump were able to pull off what they pulled off, there could be a change, and maybe they had a fluid plan. And if they weren't able to get control of Congress, then Durham may have had a greater role to expose X, Y, or Z. Maybe. But because you now have control of Congress, maybe he can just sit back and do the basics, black and white. Here's my report. I think that might be what is going on here. Mob One, I think we're going to have a far better year. The Mighty Gators are going to have a far better year than people think. I'm an eternal optimist. I love Billy Napier. I love what he's doing, and I love the impact he's having. People forget the effect of culture and cohesion on a football team. A little bit of malcontents can screw up a football team. We've had that. So we'll see. Yeah, M. Maddox, I think you need to appeal if they have not reinstated your old account. I think that's what happened with me. And my wife, I don't know what you mean, Flying Storm. Yeah, DVT is nothing to mess with. I know. I gave in. I damn near killed myself, and I had to give in. I had to give in. I didn't want to. And I fought it almost to the grave. But all the ducks have to be taken down quickly. Diana. Yeah, the military is the only way, has meaning far beyond what I think we're contemplating. I keep saying that over and over. I believe that. It's not what you think. It's true, but it's not what you think. Floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee. The explanation is not simple. Yeah. NATO, that is, be careful, Flying Storm, ingesting Russian propaganda. I'm not sure enough people in our network of content creators have really fully taken heed to that. Be careful before you ingest Russian propaganda. I don't give a damn what an African president is denouncing NATO. Don't give a damn. Okay, I'm over. I'm sorry. Thank y'all for joining me. I look forward to you joining me tomorrow morning, probably from here in Palm Beach County, but if not, from beautiful Gainesville, FLA. Thank y'all so much, and we will continue to rock and roll tomorrow as we continue to try and help keep America on the right path and make America great again. Later, Gators.